So if we look at something like audience, what's the limitation for building an audience? Well, so often the limitation for building an audience, I get clients come to me all the time. They say, wow, I have this amazing idea and I'm able to charge this for it and it really changes lives, but I have no audience. So there's there's three different ways. Let's just say there's three ways to build audiences. There's probably an infinite number of ways, but let's say that there's three ways to build audience. The first way is to just go somewhere blindly and start writing a post a day and hope that every day one person reads it and then they share it. And at the end of the year, you have 500 people reading your posts. So we just start out, nobody knows who you are, and we just write a post a day. At the end of the year, maybe you have 500 followers. You go, wow, I don't want to just have 500 followers after a year. I want to do this faster. So a faster way would be to take whatever the platform is that you're on and then max out the limitations of that platform for new followers or connections or friends or whatever they're called on that platform. So let's say that the daily limit for a particular platform is 50 new people. So 50 followers, 50 connections, et cetera, et cetera. And I want you to imagine that instead of just posting one article, you were to go reach out to 50 people and say, hey, I just wrote a new article. Would you take a look and give me some feedback on it? So now you have 50 viewers every single day instead of one. Notice that this one lever, multiplied the speed of your success by 50 times. Because at the end of the year, if you do it the hard way, the slow way, then you'd have 500 followers. But if you added 50 followers a day for, let's just say, 250 days of the year, so working days of the year, 250 days times 50 is 12,500 followers, and that's with no sharing. Odds are, if you were to go, so first of all, we say that the slow way was 500 followers by the end of the year. The fast way would get you to 12,500 followers at the end of the year. Which one's better? Now, here's the thing. Did you become any better? Absolutely not. All you did was you smashed through that limitation. Obviously, there's probably a snowball effect too. But let me ask you this. What if we were to take this limitation to literally the next level? I want to kind of look you guys in the eye for just a second. I want you to imagine that we take that limitation instead of connecting with 50 people every single day, we were to look for 50 community owners every single day that had 1,000 people in their community. And so every single day we connected with 50 people, but instead of these people just being ordinary people that have 100 connections, they each have 1,000 connections or 10,000 connections. So we're to literally reach out to group owners. We were to reach out. I don't want to call them influencers because as soon as I say influencers, people go, oh, wow, they have 5 million followers and I'm really scared of them. I just want you to think of people that have 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers. So instead of reaching out to one person times 50, which is 50 people a day, you open your potential network up to 50,000 people every single day. Because if your content is amazing, then what happens is that some of those connections share your content with their connections. So instead of you being able to touch 50 people, if just one of those connections each day shares it with their audience of 1,000 connections, you go from 50 new touches to 1,000 new touches each day. And that's if just one person responds. What if 2 people respond? What if 3 people respond? What if somebody on that list of 1,000 mails to their list of 10,000? So now, instead of touching 50 people a day times 250 days, you're able to reach 1,000 people a day times 250 days. And that's at the very least. So now you have an audience of 250,000 by the end of the year. Now imagine if we accelerate this one step further, and instead of thinking, well, we're just going to do it day by day by day, what if you got to the place where you had your first 5,000 followers because of this amplification 3 weeks from now, and you said, now instead of reaching out to people that have 1,000 connections, I'm going to reach out to people that have 10,000 connections because I have grown my capacity for being confident, because my initial confidence was only to reach out to people with 1,000 connections. But now, because I have this increased level of confidence, I can reach out to people that have a bigger audience and I'm able to snowball even faster. Let's take another look at the screen. Okay. So that's our audience. Imagine if we can smash our idea, we can do it quickly. We can validate in 3 days instead of 3 months. We smash through our audience. Then the next thing is we want to smash through a product. The hard way to do a product is to go into your basement, think of a good idea, do everything you can to make that product happen. Take 3 months to build the product, hope it sticks. It probably doesn't stick because you're just guessing what people want. I see this all the time. It can take people up to 2 years to accidentally kind of land on the right product. Imagine instead of accidentally landing on the right product, imagine it's instead of accidentally landing on the right product, you were to take this amazing new audience that you're creating very, very quickly. You're reaching out to people that have 1,000 people in their network, and you're creating amazing content that they would want to share. Okay, so instead of just creating ho-hum content, you're creating absolutely amazing shareable content. You just have to create one piece of amazing content every single day if it takes you 2 hours. And now that you have this audience, now you're able to survey this audience and say, what is your biggest need? Find out what their biggest need is. Find out what's the biggest way that they want to solve that need. And instead of having to wait 3 months to create a product that may or may not flop, you're able to wait 3 days to 7 days. You have all the data that you need to create the perfect product. And instead of recording that perfect product in your basement for 3 months, instead, you hold a live workshop the following week. And during that live workshop, you record the entire product. So from start to finish, in 14 days, you have created a product. So instead of taking a year or 2 or whatever the number is, literally in 14 days, you have a product to be able to sell. And by the way, this is real life. I've done this kind of thing for years and years in the business. It's one reason that I'm able to move so quickly in the industry, because I can create product really, really fast. And the single biggest success to me being able, or secret to me being able to create product really fast, is that I create all of my product live. I just tell people I'm going to be recording tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Now I am forced to show up or tell people that I'm canceling the call. If I just put it on my schedule, it's probably not going to get done. But if I put it on my schedule and invite at least one person to show up, it is highly likely that I will show up. Very, very, very rare that I cancel a call that's already scheduled with another human, unless something usually disastrous occurs. So now the next limitation is sales. So how do we get sales? Now, remember, if we've blasted through our audience and we've blasted to a higher level of audience, we've created our product quickly, we're probably just going to have sales begin to occur. I don't want to say that they magically occur, but because of the fact that you're creating this energy. I'll give you a case study. So literally 1 hour and about 24 minutes ago, I made a post indicating that I'm holding a workshop next week, and the post was for people who might like to be an affiliate. I don't remember exactly what time, but within the last hour and 24 minutes, a client of mine reached out to me in messages and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to attend the workshop, but I'd like to purchase the workshop. And it kind of sounded like he wanted to purchase everything that was associated with the workshop, the replay, the VIP, any coaching. Like, it was tell me about the offers. He literally reaching out, says, I don't have time to come to the workshop. I didn't even promote the workshop. There's no sales page for the workshop yet. But he says, send me a link so I can purchase. Now, here's the thing. Would that have occurred if I didn't take the action to put it out there? I have discovered in my business that the more action that I take to put things out there, the more people accidentally and coincidentally come into my world. What this means is, you see, luck happens all the time. Bad luck and good luck. Coincidences happen all the time. But the more things that I put out there in the world, then the more opportunity that I'm going to have for coincidences to begin to happen to me. Okay, so now I want to say, look, we have this limitation of sales. So let's just say we're doing everything else okay, but we have a limitation of sales. So what if instead of saying, look, I have to do all of these sales absolutely from scratch, what if you were to say, I've been building this audience. I now have an audience of, say, 10,000 people that are reading my material. Is it possible that a handful of those people are regular affiliates or promoters of different things? So how could we create an instantaneous audience? We simply convert whatever it is into an affiliate offer, and we ask everybody in our network, would you like to be able to promote this? As soon as you do this, you are able to exponentially expand the number of sales that come in. I have a client that just did this very, very recently, and I don't have the exact stats on this. But if I were to think about her normal path, the number of sales that she normally makes, I believe that within 7 days of launching this affiliate campaign, she increased her sales anywhere from 5 to 10 times. Now, was that possible in her natural? You know, could she have mailed her list 10 more times and gotten 10 times more sales? Probably not, because that list would have fallen off. But because she decided to reach out to an affiliate network, she was able to increase sales by anywhere from 5 to 10 times, depending on exactly what the numbers are. And I don't have the numbers right in front of me. This is the kind of thing that is wildly possible, and it is possible for you. Sometimes you look out and you look at people that, you know, well, they just had this big, you know, campaign. It did $1 million in sales. And maybe they just got started in business last year. How did that happen? Because they tapped into a network of people who already have followers and who already are making sales. And they just took their product. They made it so amazing that somebody else wanted to be able to promote it. And they were able to exponentially blast through the limitation of making sales. And the same thing, a lot of times, people have a hard time with delivery. Delivery is what holds them back. Delivery is what crushes some companies. Okay, they go out there and make a ton of sales. They do a poor job of delivery, and they're not able to grow because they can't sleep at night because they feel like people are not getting what they asked for. Or they get a ton of customer service complaints, all kinds of different problems that occur with delivery. Let's face it. I mean, if you're an audience person, you're probably not good at delivery. If you're a salesperson, you're probably not good at delivery. Could you hire someone for a few hours a week that's already doing delivery somewhere else? They're already doing delivery in their own business. They're really, really good at it, but they have a little bit of excess capacity. Sometimes we think we cannot hire somebody until we can afford a full-time person. The truth of the matter is probably 90% of all people in the outsourcing world are not full. They're working 30 hours a week. They're working 35 hours a week. They're working 37 hours a week. They would love to work an extra 3 hours if you were to pay them double their usual rate. So seriously, you just pay them double their usual rate, get them to work those extra 3 hours. I've had people in the past where I've offered them something like that, and they're like, well, can you give me more hours? I'll fire my least productive client. They're like, literally, wow, this is really amazing. If you can give me 6 hours, I'll let my worst client go. Okay, great. So we let your worst client go. Now you have tapped into somebody that's really good at what they do, and you're paying a fraction of what it might take to get it done. Now, I want you to imagine that you go through all of these, whatever your steps are, you just take away those limitations. And so instead of you taking a year to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, you could do it in 5 weeks. You could do it in 7 weeks. So here's what I want you to do. Here's a worksheet. And you're going to draw this out. So I'm not giving you a handout because I think that's a cheat a lot of times. If people take a handout and they're like, okay, let me print this out. I'm going to do this the easy way. I do almost everything that I do on a sheet of paper. I was going to hold one up, but I changed my mind. I write them out on a sheet of paper. Could you write this out on a sheet of paper and write down what your personal limitation for all of these is? Let me ask you this. If you were to find a way to break through your limitation in each of these 5 areas, could you have the biggest launch of your life in 5 weeks? Type 5 weeks into the chat if that would be possible. Comment below the video. Comment below the video 5 weeks. If you could have the biggest launch of your life. In fact, I want you to type biggest launch because I want you not to focus on the 5 weeks. I want you to focus on the biggest launch, the biggest result that you've ever had. What would it do for your life and your business if in the next 5 weeks you had the biggest launch that you've ever had? Biggest launch that you've ever had. And the truth of the matter is, I have just given you the secret. And notice, I did not give you the secret by telling you how to do things bigger. I did not tell you how to do things better. I did not tell you to get better at sales. I did not tell you to get better at product. I did not tell you to get better at anything. I suggested that you find a way to break through your limitations by recruiting other people to do what you're not good at, or by expanding the people that you're connecting with, so that you can connect with exponentially more people, and so that everything that you do becomes exponential. We want you to do everything that you do in an exponential way, and this will allow you to grow to amazing heights. So here's just an example that was on the screen, just an example here. If we were to do just this for a particular thing, you know, your ideas, you're going to be a huge change maker of some way, right? Very generic here. What would it take for you to get an audience of 100,000 people in short order? You're not going to do it by yourself. You're going to do it by connecting with other people that know other people that know other people. Imagine that it was just $100 product, but because you had an audience of 100,000 people, just 1% of those people purchased 100, you'd have 1,000 sales that would occur. And then your delivery is just on a course platform. So many people choose the very worst platform that they could ever come up with, because it's only going to cost them $40, but it ends up costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars because the course platform is so bad. Wouldn't it be better to make an investment of $200 if you're going to do $100,000 worth of sales, to have the best platform out there? And if you'll do that for every single one of these ideas, blast through your idea, blast through your audience, blast through your product, blast through your sales, and blast through your delivery, it will be absolutely amazing what you're able to accomplish in your life. And so I want to encourage you to remove limitations in your life. And then if you reach below the video, want to also invite you to our 5-day exponential results workshop that we'll be holding. In the exponential results workshop, what I've just taught you about removing limitations is like one grain of sand compared to everything that you're going to receive in the 5-day exponential results workshop. So I encourage you, if you want more like this, that you'll enroll for that workshop, and it'll be really good to see you on the other side.